Okay, so what's good, everyone? Today we're just doing another kind of team reveal, post-practice games, just a bit of an update for where we're at. Again, don't need to go line by line or anything. You guys can just see the whole team right now if you want. Again, if you want to just see the team and then leave the video, by all means. But I think it's an interesting team. It's an interesting team that I've got here. So kind of going through my whole methodology of how I've gone about this, it's obviously very heavy on the mid prices. So, with that, I mean, my thinking behind it is obviously, whenever in going into any season ever, the dominant strategy has always been mid-price madness. It always has been, it always will be. The best strategy you can do to score the most points at the start of the season is always mid-price madness. The reason, obviously, we typically don't try to do that, and we go a more, mostly top tier premiums and rookie structure, is just obviously because it's so hard to hit on those mid prices. Like the percentage chance of them is a lot lower than, say, a premium who's got like 3+ years of consistent high level scoring. But I mean, if we could at the end of the day, the strategy is always to go with those 200 to 300 players that are speculative but always have a lot of upside. It's just hard to hit with them. But that's kind of what I've tried to do here. I've gone a lot of those players who do seem a little bit more speculative, but I think just have a lot of value entrenched in them compared to, some top line guys like a Bontempelli or a Butters who are, plus 600K and you're not really getting any value out of them, but they're just going to score really well. You know they're probably going to score between 120 to 130 this year, but you're not really getting any value out of them. So going through it in a little bit more depth, I mean, as you can see in the back line, I have gone two premiums. Jack Sinclair, he does have, quite a few consistent years of scoring now under his belt. So he's one I am quite confident with. Again, it doesn't have to be him that I end up using. It could be, as you'll see, the cash I've got in the bank. I've still got 43K. Like, oh, I'm not sure if that's enough to go up to Sheasel. I think Sheasel's just a bit above that, 635. And I'm $200 short of Sheasel. But anyway, obviously, by the time the season comes around, I could maneuver things around and easily get him in. So, like, yeah, I could go Sheasel if I wanted. I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm not necessarily sure of Harry Sheasel's role. I just think his numbers were a bit inflated from last year, Sheasel. Like, I just can't really see. He averaged like 118 last year. I just can't really see him doing that again. I think he'll still score well, by no means, or by all means, whatever the saying is. I think he'll still probably go 110 to 115. But again, that's going to be less. He's going to go down value, even if he does 110 to 115. He's priced that high. So I think I can probably get him at about 550K, 5 rounds in, and I don't think it'll be the end of the world. A guy like Sheasel. Sinclair, I think again, you're probably not getting a heap of value out of him, but yeah, I'm probably just a little bit more okay to go with him. I don't know what he averaged last year. I think it was like 108-ish. But yeah, that's why I would go with him. Oh, okay, about 110. About 110 it was last year. Next guy, Max Holmes. So I've actually got all these guys tabs up here because I'm so prepared. But yeah, as we can see with the guy like Max Holmes, he's gone up every single year. By quite a decent bit. He improves year on year on year. And I think he's going to do the same again. I can definitely see him going 105 plus, maybe even 110 plus. And again, you got probably 5 to 10 points of value there. I think he's definitely going to show that he's Geelong's best player this year. And just, yeah, one that I'm really looking to break out, I would say. I mean, he already has broken up or broken out. Was he an Australian last year? I think he may have been, but I think he probably will be this year again. Yeah, just go up another level now. Okay, Matt Roberts, as we move my little screen out of the way. So obviously massive jump last year. We all started him as a rookie and everything. And I think he's just going to go up another level again. I can see him going 100 plus this year, at least 95 plus. And when you're getting that sort of value, 95 plus, priced at 80, I think he's probably a good starting option. So as we can see, towards the back end of the year, certainly not the finals games, but typically when you actually look at finals, finals is just played a lot differently. It's a lot more contested and everything. And so a guy like Matt Roberts doesn't really fare that well in finals. And when you do look at like people's SuperCoach stats, I've found over the years, you just can exclude finals because again, like I said, it's played in a different style than the home and away season is. So to be honest, I don't really even look at it. Like it's great if they're playing well, but for guys like Matt Roberts, it doesn't really apply too much because it's going to be played differently in the home and away season. So really, you look from round 24 to, even this before this last sub game, he was subbed off here. So say rounds 18 to round 24, like I don't know what the average is there, but it's probably over 100, I would say. He had a 160 game in there and everything. So I think that's what you're looking towards, probably around the 100 mark. So pretty good from him, pretty good from him. And that's what I would say. Callum Mills is one I'm a bit more speculative on. Again, he didn't play in the practice game. I pretty much did watch nearly every single practice game from the match simulations, not the official ones. But yeah, obviously Mills didn't play, and I'm not sure about him. I've only really got him in the team right now to kind of because I don't want to anti-pot him because I think he could be really good. He has averaged 110 plus before, so I don't really want to anti-pot him. But he's in the team right now. But I mean, who even knows if he plays round one, or round zero or whatever. Okay, so Josh Sin and Dylan Williams. Out of these two, so obviously both Port Adelaide defenders, I'm actually more confident on Dylan Williams. We'll start with Josh Sin though, because he's in the D5 position. And so yeah, with him, we'll get up his stats. It hasn't really been able to break into Port Adelaide's lineup too much, as can be seen by the games played. He did have a little bit of a patch last year where he was, but then he got injured. But even so, 53 average, not too flash or anything. So I think, yeah, he's probably one that I'm okay with fading. But for now, he's in the team. Really, I think the biggest benefactor of Dan Houston leaving at the end of last year is going to be Dylan Williams. This is his sixth year on the list, and he's only played 27 games. But if you look at it, 2023, he was basically a consistent player in their lineup. 20 games in that 1 year. In his other 4 years so far, he's only played 6 games. Again, he's pretty much at that point in his career where it's like if he doesn't pan out this year, he's probably just going to get to listen and be working a 9 to 5 next year, like us all. So yeah, he's out of contract at the end of this year. Like this is pretty much make or break for him. I mean, like it is for probably 80% of the players in the AFL. There's only probably 20% of players that can actually demand contracts and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, like he's averaged about 67 before. He averaged 42 last year, and a lot of sub games last year as well, from memory. Oh, only one actually, to be fair. Only one. But yeah, Dan Houston leaving. He's got 25 points of value right there. 25 points from what he did just the year before. He's only in his sixth year. It's not like he's going downhill. It's not like he's over the age of 30 or anything. He's like, what, 24, 25 or whatever. So yeah, for me, I think he's definitely one that can probably average 80 plus, I would say, even 85 plus. I can see him getting up to 400K this year if he gets the role. Obviously, who knows? Maybe he's a sub. You don't know. You don't know. But with Dan Houston leaving, I think there's definitely another kind of running kicker in the spots that have opened up for Port Adelaide. They went with three main ones last year in the form of Dan Houston, Ryan Burton, and who's the other guy? Kane Farrell as like their main kickers. Obviously, Dan Houston's left now, so there is a spot there, which I think Dylan Williams would mainly take, not so much Josh Sin. Okay, James Leake, I think this guy is. I don't really know too much about him, to be honest. A little bit of hype around him. I know he was a high draft pick in 2023 or something. So he's on the bench for now. Don't really know too much about him. Liam O'Connell, played well in St Kilda's match sim. So he's in the team for now. Not sure if we'll get a game in round one, but he's just there. The midfield is very interesting because, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call Ed Richards a mid-pricer or even Taranto. Maybe Will Day, Clayton Hall, maybe all the other guys are. But yeah, anyway, Ed Richards at M1 though is big time because again, he's probably a guy you'd be more confident starting at M3, M4. But like I mentioned at the outset, I'm not going with any big dogs this year. No six. There's only one 600K plus guy in my whole lineup, and that's Tristan Sherry. So yeah, to fit the structure I want, where it's more heavy on the mid prices, I do have to obviously sacrifice some of those very top line guys, which is what you got to do just sometimes. Ed Richards, again, so he averaged about 99 last year. I can see him doing probably about 105. So a little bit of value there. Not a ton, but I'm not necessarily sure if he's top eight. But I think just to start the season, he can have a few good games. Again, he's got North Melbourne to start off with. Who's he got after that? Collingwood typically tend to be a little bit easier, I think, for midfields to score on. And then now he's got a few hard matchups after that. But to be honest, I'm confident in starting him. Pretty confident. No guarantees, obviously. Taranto averaged 95 last year, but he averaged like 106 the year before. Just, crawled by injuries and had a few sub games last year. So if we just look at his stats from last year, a lot of DNPs. And yeah, he tends to be a guy, I'll show you, Tim Taranto. Tim Taranto tends to be a guy that plays better at the start of the year. So if you're going to have him at the start. So 2024, a few more hundreds towards the start. Well, that's round 13, round 14 anyway. But like, yeah, he tends to peter out towards the end of the year. I don't know, is that an endurance issue or something? Maybe his body's not built strongly enough for the full season, even though he's 27. I don't know. But you can see mostly hundreds towards the start of the season. Like, look at this. This is 2023. This is 2023. And then he ends off the season five sub tons in a row, sub 100s. So he tends to be a guy that's better at the start. That's why I think there's definitely value in this selection. Priced at 95. Look, first four rounds of 2022, peters out towards the end of the year. So that's why gonna go with him. Only issue is obviously he's on Richmond. Who knows how many games they're going to win? Probably not many, and they're probably going to get killed most weeks. But I think I'm all right with starting him. Injury risk for him is also very high, same as Ed Richards. There is a lot of guys in this team who are high injury risk. That's part of the reason why they are mid prices. As I'm getting dinged, let me turn this down. Okay, so Will Day next. I mean, people saying he's gonna break out. I did see a little bit of this game. They played Geelong in Hawthorn, but I mean, he seemed good. Not too different from last year. He was already good last year. So, I mean, he had that really hot patch during the middle of the year. Let me try to find that. Yeah, 142, 117, 107, 137. So, I mean, yeah, for a Hawthorn fan like myself, I mean, I was already watching him closely. So it's like I knew he's capable of this. So didn't really surprise me too much. I think he'll probably like what did he average last year? He had like a 10 game. Yeah, 91. I think he'll go probably 100 plus. I'm not necessarily sure he'll go 105 plus. He can get used as a defender a little bit still. Maybe played off halfback. So that's always a risk there as well. But predominantly, definitely inside midfielder at this stage of his career now. Clayton Oliver, again, he's actually also one I'm not super confident on. Look, he did well in their match him, but he's mostly just one that I don't want to antipod. So that's why I'm going with him. Okay, and then Adam Chera we've got next now. So he's playing against Richmond round one. Carlton actually do have a pretty easy fixture to start the season off. So I'm actually pretty confident going with him. Sorry if you can hear any background noise, but yeah, I'm pretty confident going with him for the start of the season. What's he priced at? Break even of 83. So again, quite a lot of value there. So I'm pretty confident in going with him. Then we got Peatling. Peatling's one that I mean a lot of people are going with him again, but I'm just pretty confident and he's going to do really well this year. Oh, let me try to find what was he doing last year? Like he was sub so many games last year, as we would all know. 2025. What am I on? Season stats, fantasy stats. No, show me 2024. So yeah, like we can see heaps of spike games, just 11, 14, 40, 20. I'm assuming probably most of these are sub games, 27, 18, 26 DNP. I don't think that would have included in his average, but like heaps of games just slowing his average where he was probably the sub. I mean, I can check it because again, I've got all these guys up here, as you can see by my tabs. But yeah, what, 7 games he was the sub in? I don't think he's going to be the sub at all this year. So unless he gets injured, probably not going to be in the green vest at all, I would assume. Then yeah, he's a bit of a lock for me, James Peatling. Sartas, however you pronounce his name. I mean, again, played well in their match sim. They had a lot of guys missing, so he's in the team for now. Not super confident, but he's there. Sheldrick, I think he can go well. Points per minute last year was something like the highest in the competition. I think he'll do well, but again, not a guarantee. So we'll see how he goes. O'Driscoll really well in that Indigenous All Stars game. He played for Fremantle, so I think he'll break into the lineup. I mean, let me check his stats from. Yeah, I mean, he only played the 2 games last year. His first year was actually the year he averaged the best. I don't think that was his first year, was it? No, that was his second year. He didn't play in his first year. But yeah, anyway, I think he's a good pick. Jackson Binns, he actually really stood out to me in Carlton's preseason game. I think he's going to be a consistent winger for them. I really do. So I'm confident with him. So I'm going to put him in the team and we'll just go from there. Elijah Hewitt, didn't really see too much of him. I didn't really see too much of this West Coast Richmond game. I know obviously West Coast won by quite a lot, but he's in the team for now because he's got a bit of hype around him. Cherry now, so obviously super expensive, 645K. I hate paying up for these guys, but you kind of just got to do it just because that's the way it goes. And the thing is, you do need some people, if we go back to his 2024 season, you do need captaincy options still. You do. So that's kind of the reason why you can't just go the whole team mid prices. Because if I could, I would. But you still need people that are going to score or have the potential to really go 150 plus decently often because you need captains every week. So I've still got a few of them in the team. I'd say probably Tristan Cherry, Tim English, Jack Sinclair, maybe Max Holmes are going to be my main captaincy options to start off with. Just pick any one of them in any given week who I think has got a good matchup. And probably if none of them have a good matchup, I'll probably just go with Tristan Cherry. But yeah, as my fallback option. But that's where someone like a Marcus Bontempelli is really good. Just fallback option every single week if your first vice captain doesn't go that well. So Cherry here, yeah, obviously just insane to end the year. We know what he did. Crazy. So he's in the team. Max Scorn, I mean, again, he didn't play in the match sim, but I'm not super worried about the injuries. I think it's more just like, I don't know. I'm taking a punt that he's going to regress a little bit. I actually can't really see myself starting him. If I get cooked at the start of the year, I get cooked. If it happens, it happens. But for right now, he's not on the team. Tim English. Tim English. So what's this? Was this last year? No, we've got to go back to last year. So yeah, I mean, still did well. Like he's priced at 108, even though again he had like a bit of a down year. The year before, what did he do? Let me see. 2020. I know he's like his last year before that was a lot better, obviously. Is yeah, he did 128 before. I think he'll probably split the difference. I think instead of going 110 like he did last year, I still don't think he'll go 130 like 2023. I think he'll probably do about 120, maybe 115. So a bit of value there cooked in. So I'm happy going with him. I would say he does have Chish and Cherry to start the year off, so my Rucks will be playing against each other, but that's okay with me. After that, Darcy Cameron, Pidnet, and slash DeConning, Luke Jackson, maybe Liam Reedy, maybe Sean Darcy, Oscar McInerney, could be probably Rowan Marshall. But yeah, anyway, it's a decent matchup to start. Harry Boyd, so yeah, he was good, obviously, in their match sim, pretty competitive and everything. Again, the main thing is he going to play in round one? I don't know. I mean, it's all really dependent on Rowan Marshall's availability. At my ruck three position, I'm happy with starting him. If William Reedy gets named to play, I'll probably start him though instead as my R3. If Matt Flynn gets named as a solo ruck, I'll probably start him at my R3. I'm not going to put him R2. I don't want to put Matt Flynn on my field, to be honest. So I'll probably start Matt Flynn if he's solo ruck, but if he's rucking with Bailey Williams, I'll probably just bypass it. Going into my forward line. So we've got Horn Francis now. So played well in their match sim. I think he butters and I think he butters and maybe Willem Drew is probably Port Adelaide's best holistic midfield lineup or midfield mix. I think I probably wouldn't put Connor Rosie in there because he's just too similar to Zach Butters and Horn Francis in like he's really attacking. But Connor Rosie doesn't really bring much defensiveness. Willem Drew brings that, which is probably why I would put him in instead. Probably a bit of an out there opinion. It depends on the state of the game. Do you need more attacking or do you need more defensiveness? Depends. Anyway, he's good. He's good for me right now, Horn Francis. McRae is in there as well. Played well as well. Think he'll get a heap of midfield time. So he's looking good. Bailey Smith, I think, is looking good as well. I don't really know what role he's going to play. Is he going to be on the wing? Is he going to be inside midfield? I don't really think it matters. Even if he's on a wing, I can still see him going probably 85 plus. And I think even if he does 85 plus, that's enough for his value that he'll bring, or the price that he's at. I think he'll still probably be a top 10 forward this year and potential to go top six. So he's in there for me. Bailey Humphrey, Played well in their match sim. I didn't actually see it. I just saw some stats. I'll watch him closer definitely in this actual preseason game, but he's one I've got in there just for now as a bit of a X factor player. I think he could break out, maybe go a 90 plus here, but we'll see. We'll see. Kind of like how Sam Flanders did for them 2 years ago, but we'll see. Caleb Daniel looking like he's going to take a hit with kickouts. Thing is, though, Zach Fisher didn't play, and there was someone else that didn't play for them that I think might take some kickouts. So we'll have to see, because I mean, Zach Fisher was taking a lot of kickouts towards the end of last year, but I mean, I'm assuming they did get Caleb Daniel to actually take that role. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Dan Curtin had a decent amount of time on ground. Had a bit of a suspect role, not kind of like a general forward type of role. So I'm not necessarily sure how he's going to score, but for now he's in the team. Connor Stone. The thing is with GWS, with all those people that got suspended from the Mad Monday celebrations last year or whatever it was, they've actually got to play some of their depth. And Connor Stone is in like, again, I've got these tabs open. Let me check it. Connor Stone. He's, yeah, he's in his fifth year now, and he's only played 13 games in his career. I feel like he's one that can become a bit more in their team. So I don't know if it necessarily means he's going to break out, but I think he'll probably give us about maybe a 60 point average. We'll see. Anyway, he's on the bench. He can always get replaced. Sam Davidson, again, looking like he's going to play round one, but we'll see. And Sam Palpepper, again, a guy who's in Port Adelaide's leadership group and did play the full game, or most of the game at least, against Adelaide and everything. So, I think he's definitely in Port Adelaide's best 22, just missed out last year with the injury, ACL injury, I think, something like that. So, I think he's definitely a guy. If Port Adelaide is winning by a lot, they'll just sub him out just to rest him because he is coming back from injury. But I mean, he's in their leadership group, and I think he has actually scored well before. If we look at his prior averages, like he's done 78. He's priced 52 is what he scored last year, and then obviously he's going to get a bit more of a discount because he only played 3 games. So I mean, he's only 180. I think he'll probably do between 65 to 70, and he'll probably get up to 300 to 350k. I think 350k is good. If he can get there, I'll be pretty happy. But I'm pretty happy starting with him. Probably some big omissions you can see right now in the lineup is, a lot of those first year midfielders like Levi Ashcroft, Sam Layla, Josh Smiley, Leo Lombard, Jagger Smith, whoever else was up there as well. Again, I think a lot of those guys I'm a little bit iffy on, but they can still convince me if they go well in their match, in their official practice match and in round zero for some of them who are playing then. Again, Leo Lombard, I was actually thinking I probably would start, but he did get injured. Levi Ashcroft, it's just that Brisbane's team is so strong. Like, I can't really see him getting a whole heap of midfield time. So that's probably a big reason why I wouldn't go with him. Who else is in there? Sam Layla, injury. Sam Layla only averaged about like 60 Supercoach points in under 18s in the championships last year as well. So if he's only averaging 60 in under 18s, I don't think he's going to do that much in the AFL, especially being in Richmond, who's going to get pumped every week. Josh Miley's probably the same, same case, same team and everything. Who else is there? Jagger Smith, he's one that could go well. I had him up until yesterday until he got injured. So, yeah, taking him out now, but he could still find his way back in the team. Who else is there? I don't know. Whoever else there is. Let me see. Let me get some of these high price rookies up. That Travaglia guy from St Kilda only played in the fourth quarter, so I'm gonna bypass him. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll play really well in the practice game, but for now, probably a downgrade option during the season. Okay, if we just go down, find out where all the rookies start. Okay, so because some of these rookies are interesting, but yeah, Finn O'Sullivan, definitely a guy who could start. I think for me, I just can't really see him scoring that much. And I don't think he's going to get a heap of midfield time, probably half forward wing mainly. So I'm fine with passing him. Ed Allen is maybe one guy you could look to. I didn't really get to see that Collingwood preseason match, so I'll try to look at their official practice match and see him a bit more. Let me see. Jesse Motlop apparently played well for Carlton as well. So I'll probably try to look a bit more at him, see if he gets consistent games. Sid Draper, yeah, did play for Adelaide. Not necessarily sure about him though. I think Adelaide have a lot of mouths to feed in that midfield. Like Isaac Rankin wasn't even playing in that game against Port. Who else is there? Like Harvey Langford. Yeah, you could. I'm suspect on his job security as well. Melbourne's got quite a lot of midfielders to play. And I think like they probably want to put like a Trent Rivers in the middle now anyway, instead of Harvey Langford, just because like Trent Rivers is obviously going to give them more bang for their buck every CBA you put him in for instead of Harvey Langford in his first year. Otherwise, I mean, Mitch Lewis would be a good downgrade option when he's healthy again. Yeah, Travaglia probably pass for now. Yeah, Leo Lombard I think would be good. I don't know if he'll start the season though, but I think he'll be good at some point. Taru, I think he's injured. Who else is there? Lindsay, he played. I didn't really see too much of him. I think probably a pass. Not sure if he gets named in round one. But anyway, that's just how my team is for right now. It's what we're looking with. Again, still probably going to change. Like, probably at least 50% of this team is going to get changed by the time round one starts, after we look at the practice matches, the official ones, and round zero. So probably 50% plus of this team will be different. But that's what I'm thinking right now. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.